Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know what is ethics, business ethics, various kinds of ethical issues faced by organizations. You will learn objectives of business ethics, arguments in favor of business ethics, and importance of business ethics. You will understand the philosophical theories of ethics, various ethical decision making styles of individuals, and you will know what is code of ethics. Introduction. In today's world of globalization, when there is a stiff competition among companies, ethics plays a very important role. Organizations are in continuous screening of stakeholders. Organizations want to associate themselves with ethically strong business partners. Ethics are actually morally and socially good behavior acceptable by all. Business ethics is the adoption and application of principles of ethics in the field of business. Ethics is the basis of every corporate governance program. Even corporate social responsibility is also extension of business ethics. Now comes what is ethics. According to Oxford Dictionary, ethics are moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. The term ethics has variety of different meanings. One more important definition of ethics according to dictionary is ethics is the study of morality. Now the question is, what is morality? According to Oxford Dictionary, morality is principles concerning distinction between right and wrong, good or bad behavior. No one set of principles of morality is accepted universally. These principles of morality changes from country to country, religion to religion, and even they change with the passage of time also. Moral principles and standards are not established by law or legislature. Velasquez M. describes moral standards in his book as moral standards are that standard that deal with matters that we think are of serious consequences, are based on good reasons and not on authority, override self-interest, are based on impartial considerations, and that are associated with feelings of guilt and shame. A person used to learn these moral principles from family, through religion, religious books, friends, society, and even their own good and bad experiences. Meaning of business ethics. As per Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, business ethics is a form of applied ethics that examines ethical principles and moral or ethical problems that arise in a business environment. It applies to all aspects of business conduct and is relevant to the conduct of individuals and entire organizations. Business enterprise and large corporations work within the society and use its scarce resources, land, labor, capital and technology to produce useful products for the society. By selling these products to the member of society, business organizations earn huge profits. This profit is earned due to society and by working within society. Hence, business organizations owes some responsibility towards the society. Business organization has to work ethically and in socially responsible manner. Now, what are the kinds of ethical issues? There is wide variety of issues which business ethics investigates. For convenience to understand them, they are grouped under 3 different kinds of issues. The very first is systematic issues. This includes ethical questions regarding different kinds of systems and institutions within which the business operates. These systems are economic system, political system, legal system and other social systems, institutions. This includes question about the morality of these systems. Second is corporate issues. These are ethical questions concerning a particular organization. These include questions of morality regarding activities, policies, practices and organizational structure of an organization as a whole unit. Third issues are individual issues. These are the ethical questions regarding particular individual, whether he is within or outside the organization. These include questions about the morality of a character, decisions and actions of an individual. These are most important issues as human beings are the soul of business organization. It is the morality and ethics of these individuals which shows the character of these business organizations. Now, objectives of business ethics. Peter Partley, in his book The Essence of Business Ethics, gives two objectives of business ethics. He says, business ethics evaluates human practices by calling upon moral standards. Also, it may give prescriptive advice on how to act morally in an explicit kind of situation. With the light of this statement, we find two objectives of business ethics. The very first objective is analyze and evaluate past events. Business ethics helps to analyze and evaluate past events of ethical dilemmas to find out whether past business decisions were ethically correct or not, what standard or code of conduct was being used and was there any ethically correct alternative available. Next, provides advice for future. This analysis and evaluation of past business events provides beneficial advice for future business situations of ethical concern. One can take past as guide for future. Arguments in support of business ethics. Business organizations are big structures where large number of people work. These business organizations interact with each other in order to do business. There are so many complex business situations which cannot be managed with ordinary individual ethics. Hence, there must be some kind of ethics which can govern their behavior. So, for all this we need business ethics. Now, arguments in support of business ethics are as follows. The very first is ethics applies to all human beings. Yes, ethics applies to all human beings and to all institutions where human beings work together. If ethics does not apply to business, then managers won't take ethical decisions. They will become selfish, employees will steal the products, business partners won't fulfill the agreements and even customer will not respond ethically. Ultimately, business will collapse. Hence, we need business ethics. Next, business cannot survive without ethics. Yes, there must be some kind of business ethics which must be followed by everyone doing business. Business needs an ethically stable society to work. Moreover, business works for society and within the society. Hence, business are bound to follow some ethics and promote ethical behavior among its employees and as well as in society where it works. Next, ethics is consistent with profit seeking. Ethics helps business organization to survive in a long run and to earn profits. There are many companies, for example, Intel, Hewlett Packard, Procter & Gamble, Starbucks Coffee, and Tata, who work ethically and survive in the long run to earn huge profits. Several studies have shown positive correlation between profitability and socially responsible behavior. Next, customer and employees care about ethics. These days, consumers are well aware of environmental and ethical issues. Consumers choose products of socially and ethically responsible company over the company who is not ethical and responsible. Consumers make their product choose wisely. Same is the case of employees. Employees want to work for those companies who follow all the rules, all the law and regulations. When employee feels that organization is just and follows a code of conduct, then they are more willing to follow their managers, and all this reduces labor absenteeism and labor turnover. Next, ethically strong company get finances easily as creditors have faith in ethically strong companies. It is easier for them to arrange huge amount of money when needed. In short, we can say it's beneficial for a company to follow business ethics as it helps to survive in long run. Factors that affect business ethics. While taking decisions regarding business ethics, managers should keep following factors in consideration. The very first factor is stakeholders. As defined by Freeman, according to stakeholder theory, apart from shareholders, there are other parties also who are affected by the decisions and operations of the organization. The term stakeholder may include employees, suppliers, financiers, society, competitors, and consumers. Stakeholders can be affected positively or negatively by the organization decisions. Next factor is profits. Level and significance of profit and other similar purposes of business should be kept in mind while deciding the moral principles of business ethics. Next, practicality of these ethics. While finalizing the business ethics, managers should check the level of these principles, honesty and other moral values, whether they are practically possible to follow or not. Next, level of responsibility. Managers should keep in mind the degree of responsibility of business for particular area of responsibility to society while finalizing the business ethics. Value system of business. Every business organization has some values. Managers should always consider these value systems while finalizing business ethics. Next, social factors. Every society have different values and norms, which are sometimes based on religion, sometimes on location, as Western worlds have different value system than in East. Similarly, Asian countries have different values from African countries or any other continent. Changes in values and norms of the society tend to changes business ethics. Most of the multinational corporations face this problem. Cultural factors. According to Hofstede cultural dimensions, there is 4 types of culture, namely individualism, collectivism, uncertainty avoidance, power distress, strength of social hierarchy, and masculinity, femininity. Manager should study the culture of society deeply before finalizing the business ethics, as these cultures have impact on values of individuals. Next is economic factors. Nations' level of economic development and liberalization, cross-border ties, etc. also influences the level of business ethics. Short and long-term goals of business. These goals also have great impact on level of business ethics. So, managers should study these goals before finalizing the business ethics. Now comes what is the importance and significance of business ethics. In recent time, there is a paradigm shift in philosophy of business. According to Professor Bhanumurthy, this shift leads to a framework wherein a new perspective on business ethics and social responsibility emerges. It is coined as corporate responsibility. It consists of good governance, corporate social responsibility, and environmental accountability. This is how business ethics becomes an all-pervading influence in the governance of business. Now, significance of business ethics is evident as ethical structure increases profits through good governance. These days, psychology of investor has been changed. They want to know how much profit has been earned and how this profit has been earned, that is ethically or unethically. Professor Ghosh describes importance and significance of business ethics. These can be summarized as follows. The very first is business ethics gives a broad framework of certain moral principles and values for giving guidance to all those who manages the business. These principles guide the managers to find solution of complex business problems regarding ethical issues. Next, a company which uses to follow ethics in their decision making process is trusted by its all stakeholders. Next, a company which is based on ethics and moral principles is respected by all and has a good social reputation. Next, business ethics creates and strengthens a positive work and organizational culture. Next, a company which is ethically strong and committed is following business ethics create a positive impact in employees and stakeholders' mind and provides them a sense of security. A company which follows ethics has very few issues regarding work ethics. Next, an ethically strong company faces less penalties and fines and saves shareholder money and precious time. Next, many type of market failures are the result of lack of transparency, lack of ethical conduct by managers. Being ethically strong, company avoids economic cost of market failures which is very high. Philosophical theories of business ethics. Decisions in business involve moral reasoning. Moral theory applies to all these decisions. Hence, business ethics involve application of moral theory or moral reasoning to business decisions and various ethical dilemmas. Due to continuous conflict between business and society regarding good and bad, right and wrong, there is need to apply theory of moral reasoning into business. Before going to philosophical theories of ethics, one must learn moral theory. Moral theory has two parts. One is theory of right and the other is theory of good. Apart from it, there are two approaches of moral reasoning. One is consequentialism and other is non-consequentialism. You can see this in this diagram that moral theory is having two approaches. Consequentialism is also known as teleological approach and non-consequentialism is also known as deontological approach. And both these approaches are having two theories, theory of good, theory of right. Now, the question is, what is teleology? Telos is a Greek word which means end or goal. According to teleology, the right action is one which has best consequences. The rightness or wrongness of any action or decision is determined by its results, goodness or badness. Teleological approach is similar to consequentialism. Good is defined as the consequences by consequential theories. Next is deontology. Deontology is associated mostly with Immanuel Kant. According to Kant, morally right actions are those carried out with sense of duty. Good is defined by its intrinsic value but not by its consequence in non-consequential theories. Now, decision making is difficult and tedious task involving lots of human brainstorming. These decisions are either based on intuition or individuals' past experience. There are possibility that these decisions might be wrong or does not lead to right path. Hence, ethical decision making needs some good basis or criteria. These criteria for good, right and moral judgment is provided by philosophical theories of ethics. Mainly there are three well-known philosophical theories of ethics, namely utilitarianism, rights and justice. These theories are generally normative theory which provides some kind of principle, standards or criteria in order to find out whether individual decision is good or bad. Utilitarianism is consequential theory and theory of rights and theory of justice are non-consequential theories. Detailed description of these theories are, now first we will learn the theory of utilitarianism. Jeremy Bentham is known as father of utilitarian ethics. According to utilitarianism, the best ethical alternative is one which provides a maximum good for maximum number of people. This increases overall happiness in great number of people and reduces their pain. This theory is criticized on few points. Firstly, this theory holds happiness for majority of people, which means there is still minority for people who are unhappy. Secondly, measurement of happiness, pleasure and pain is extremely difficult. Thirdly, pleasure of one person can be point of pain for another person. Next theory is theory of rights. According to this theory, every decision is ethically good if it respects and considers other person's right. It means every decision which harms other person's right is wrong decision. According to Oxford Dictionary, a right is an individual's enlightenment to have or do something. Now, right of an individual is of two types. The very first is natural rights. Natural rights are those rights which are independent of any legal structure, and second is legal rights or contractual rights. These rights are created by through social agreement or some kind of legal system. Natural rights are sometimes referred as human rights also. Now, the next theory is theory of justice. According to Oxford Dictionary, justice means being reasonable and fair. Before understanding this theory, one must understand various forms of justice. Justice is of three types. The very first is fair distribution of society's all benefits and burdens among its all members is known as distributive justice. Next is fair imposition of all penalties and punishments to all those individuals who has done something wrong. This is known as retributive justice. Third is compensatory justice. which deals with the best way of compensating people for what they lost when other individual of society has done something wrong to them. Hence, according to this theory, an ethical decision is one which deals with fair distribution of all burdens and benefits in the society. Now comes individual ethical decision making styles. Every person is having a different decision making style. Decision making is a brainstorming process which requires proper analysis of all the relevant facts and figures, and then decisions should be taken. Stanley Kordick identifies 4 individual decision making styles. These styles are: the very first is individualistic style. This type of decision maker priority is self-interest, personal success and personal gains. While making a decision, self-interest is the sole criteria. This type of decision maker ignores other stakeholders completely. Next, altruistic style. This is second style. As the name suggests, this kind of decision maker are concerned for others. These people sacrifice their own self-interest for the sake of others. An altruist tries to achieve maximum good for the maximum number of people. Altruists are similar to philanthropist and universalist who thinks for greater benefit of humanity. Third is pragmatist style. This type of decision maker is very practical person who thinks of present situation in hand and not of self or society, needs of a situation and possible future consequences are main motivation for this type of decision maker. Idealistic style. As the name suggests, this type of decision maker are principled and perfectionist. Their all decisions are based on principles, rules and regulations. These people are bound by their duties, their own ethical principles. They tend to be very rigid and inflexible in their decision making approach. One should keep these styles in mind while communicating with other persons, as these styles influence their personalities. While communicating with individualistic person, one should highlight the benefits of self-interest. But while dealing with altruistic person, one should highlight the benefit to the society and all the stakeholders. While dealing with pragmatist, one should focus on the facts and figures of the current situation and its possible consequences in future. And finally, while dealing with idealist, one should concentrate on duty and principles. Now, next topic to learn is code of ethics. Code of ethics is vital document of any business organization. Code of ethics is a written guideline which is adopted by any organization. These guidelines provide managers and workers primary values and ethical standards of the organization. Code of ethics describes company's commitment towards its all stakeholders and outside world at large. Code of ethics consists of company's vision and values. These guidelines assist in finding out the difference between what is right and what is wrong. Companies used to display their code of ethics on its website in order to give glimpse of its vision to every person dealing with the company. Sometimes Code of ethics is used interchangeably with code of conduct, but there is a difference between the two. Code of ethics provide a written guideline which acts as a framework for every decision. It actually clarifies company's mission, principle, vision and values while linking them to professional ethical standards. If code of ethics is followed properly by any company, then it creates goodwill and builds a reputation in market. On the other hand, code of conduct gives guidelines to employees regarding their behavior, compliance of rules and penalties, fines in different situations. In India, professional bodies like ICAI, ICSI, ICWAI, Medical Council of India, Bar Council of India and All India Management Association all have drafted and issued their code of conduct. All the members of these professional bodies have to follow this code of conduct. Various kinds of ethics in business. There are various kinds of business ethics which are as follows. The very first is ethics of property, property rights, intellectual property rights. Next is ethics of economic systems and international business ethics. Ethics of human resource management, ethics of finance, ethics of sale and ethics of marketing, ethics of production, ethics of technology, ethics of accounting, ethics of corporate governance and ethics of corporate social responsibility. So, in business we face lots of business ethics in various fields. Now, summary. In this module you have learnt about ethics, business ethics and kinds of ethical issues. There are three kinds of ethical issues, that is systematic issues, corporate issues and individual issues. Business ethics helps to analyze and evaluate past events and act as a guide to future events of ethical concern. Business situations are very complex, which cannot be managed with ordinary individual ethics. Hence, business ethics is needed to govern the behavior of organization. It is beneficial for a company to follow business ethics as it helps to survive in a long run. There are various factors which affects business ethics as stakeholders, profits, level of responsibility, values of organization, cultural factors, social and economic factors are few such factors. There are three well-known philosophical theories of ethics, namely utilitarianism, rights and justice. There are four individual ethical decision making styles. There are individualistic style, altruistic style, pragmatic style and idealistic style. Last we have learned code of ethics, which provides a written guideline which acts as a framework for every decision. It actually clarifies company's mission, principle, vision and values. There are various types of ethics in business for various fields.